TunePocket.com.
Wrongful confinement, it is one of the important topic of the IPC that is defined under section 340 of the Indian Penal Code, which says whoever wrongfully restrains any person in such a manner as to prevent that person from proceeding beyond certain circumscribing limits. This term is very important. Certain circumscribing limit. It's said wrongfully to confine that person. So that we can see that there are 4 5 ingredients under section 340 where the person wrongfully restrained. So whatever we have studied under section 339 that deals with the wrongful restraint, that any person who is voluntarily obstructs any other person so as to prevent that person from proceeding in any direction. So all the ingredients of section 339 are included in section 340. So if any person restrains any other person in such manner as to prevent that person from proceeding beyond certain circumscribing limits, so the person has been restrained and he has also been prevented to proceed beyond certain circumscribing limits. So under this section there is certain circumscribing limit and the person is prevented to proceed beyond certain circumscribing limit. See illustration A of section 340. What it says? It says A causes Z to go within a walled space and locks Z in. A is thus prevented from proceeding in any direction beyond the circumscribing limit of the wall. A wrongfully confined Z. Now the question is what we call wrongful confinement. Basically, wrongful confinement is a kind of wrongful restraint, as you already studied that wrongful confinement includes the term wrongful restraint. So basically it's a kind of wrongful restraint in which a person is to be prevented to go beyond certain circumscribing limit. So the person is kept within the boundary wall, the person is kept within certain limits out of which he wishes to go and he has right to go. Again we must keep in mind that the person is having a desire to go as well as the person is having right to go. If suppose the person having no desire to go, then again there cannot be any wrongful confinement. Or if the person is having no right to go, then again there is no wrongful confinement. So, for constituting wrongful confinement, there must be total restraint of personal liberty of the individual and not partial restraint of the personal liberty of the individual. So, for constituting the wrongful confinement, there must be total restraint and not the partial restraint of the personal liberty of the individual. So, here total restraint of personal liberty means he has no other choice to move in any direction. In case of wrongful restraint, the person was having choice to move in other directions, but in case of wrongful confinement, the person is having no other choice to move in any direction. For example, suppose if a person confined within the boundary wall, and if suppose there are 4 5 doors and one door is open, then it is not a wrongful confinement at all, rather it can be called as wrongful restraint. Or we may take another example. Suppose restraining a person in a particular place or compelling a person to go into particular direction against his will. What does it mean? Even the direction is open to go, but he has been called or he has been threatened to go into that direction, and that was against his will. If it is against his will, then definitely it shall also constitute the wrongful confinement and not merely wrongful restraint. As we have discussed that there must be a desire to move. If there is no desire to move, then there cannot be any wrongful confinement. For example, if person remain wanted to be inside the room, then it cannot be a wrongful confinement. For example, if a student don't want to come into class, and if suppose one of his friend kept him locked inside the hostel room, and he is claiming before the teacher that I could not come because I was confined by my friend, but actually he wanted to be inside so that he could not attend the class. In such a situation, it cannot be amount to a wrongful confinement at all. Come to the point, proof of actual physical obstruction is not necessary. As we have studied, there must be right to go, as well as the person is having desire to go or he wanted to go. But there is obstruction, the person is obstructed by the use of force, by fear, or by threat. So the person is causing fear in the minds of other, that if he will go beyond certain circumscribing limit, then definitely there will be some danger, there will be danger to life. If this is the situation, then it will be called as wrongful confinement. Suppose if the circumstances are of such a nature that if he would go outside, then he will be refrained from doing so, there will be danger to life, there will be danger to the property, then it will amount to wrongful confinement. Or you can say, if suppose someone is standing outside and it says and he says that if you will come outside of the house, then you will be killed, then it shall amount to wrongful confinement. Circumscribing limit, what we call circumscribing limit, restraining a person in a particular place. If a person has been restrained to be within the particular area, then it is called restraining a person in a particular place, or compelling him to go into certain direction against his will, even though he was allowed to go in one direction, but in that direction he don't want to go, he don't have desire to go, he don't wishes to go into that direction, and therefore it is called as wrongful confinement. For the offense, there must be certain circumscribing limits, or there must be certain circumscribing limit. For example, house detention, house arrest. Nawaz Sharif was house arrested. Umar Abdullah was house arrested during the Jammu and Kashmir turmoil. So, if a person has been kept within the boundary wall, if the person has been kept within the house, then it shall amount to wrongful confinement. We may take other examples of wrongful confinement. For example, suppose A is on journey by his car from Perinthal to the Calicut. B, the other person, met him in the way and requested for the lift up to Malappuram, an intermediate town. A agreed to his request, but on reaching to Malappuram, the intermediate town, he didn't stop the car and did not drop him there despite of his repeated request. Be carried over to Calicut against his will, and therefore A shall be responsible for the offense of wrongful confinement. Or we may take another example. Suppose A places another man with the firearm at outlet of the house and warns B that they will be killed if B attempts to move the house, attempt to leave the house. Here A would be liable for the offense of wrongful confinement. That is the illustration number B of the wrongful confinement. Or suppose A is going to the doctor for medical assistant and kept his brother in heavy chain, who was subjected to intermittent insane delusion and who was found to be sane by the CMO, Chief Medical Officer, and therefore it can be held that it is a wrongful confinement. Or confining a person in a room, or compelling a person to move in any particular direction. These can be examples of these can be the examples of wrongful confinement. One important question may come to you in your mind, that what could be the boundary of circumscribing limit? Up to what extent it can be called as it is a wrongful confinement, or the person is inside this some boundary, or you can ask that how long a boundary could be. So the answer is howsoever it may be large. For example, prison may be having its boundary, for example, large, narrow, or sometimes the prison may have invisible boundary. So the person living in that boundary must have been prevented to go beyond certain circumscribing limit. Or if a person is in the desert area or in the jungle and other person prevented him to go beyond certain circumscribing limit, the reason is he pointed over him the gun, that if he will go or if he will move one step ahead, then he shall be killed. Then the person has been confined within certain circumscribing limit, and therefore it can be called as the boundary of circumscribing limit, and it can be termed as wrongful confinement. Again, malice is not the essential requirement of offense of wrongful confinement. So there is no need of malice. Even without malice, there can be an offense of wrongful confinement. Come to another aspect of wrongful confinement, that is period of confinement. So to constitute the wrongful confinement, the period is immaterial. But the period will become material only to determine the extent of the punishment, the quantum of punishment. So what we understood, the for constituting the offense of wrongful confinement, the period is a material, but for deciding the extent of punishment, the quantum of punishment, the period is material. We have an important judgment on this point, that is Gopal Naidu, that was decided by the Madras High Court in the year 1922. In this case, what happened? There were two police officers. They arrested without warrant a person who was drunk and creating disturbance on the public street. He was confined by the police officers and they taken him into the custody, though one of them knew his name and address. And also, it was not known to what extent he is dangerous to the public or the property. The offense for which he was arrested was non cognizable, as for the creating nuisance in public, we have section called section 510, and that deals with the minimum punishment. Finally, the matter reached the court and it was held. Arrest was without warrant and it was in non cognizable cases, and therefore the offense shall amount to wrongful confinement. Thank you.